Hello, and thank you for joining me today at my Carolina homestead. My name is Michelle, and today I'm going to continue on the journey of preparing my seasonal medicine cabinet for the season ahead, which is the cold and flu season. So today I'm making a vapor rub that can be applied to the chest, can also be applied to the back where the lungs are, and also can be applied to the bottom of the feet. Now, this recipe is going to be for adults, so I will give you some information on essential oils that can be used for children, but today this recipe is going to be for adult application. So I am going to start off with a double boiler. I have a saucepan filled about halfway with water. I have my temperature on medium heat. And then I have my measuring cup here. And this is just so that I can pour the mixture out into my containers when I'm finished. So I'm gonna start off with, now before I start, let me explain this to you. If you wanna make this in a larger batch, you can. The general base rule for your oil mixture of this recipe is going to be 1/4 cup of beeswax to 1 cup of oil. Now, I'm not going to give you the specific measurements of the oils that I'm using because you can use whatever oils you have. What you do want to have is the 1/4 cup of your beeswax and then your 1 cup of oils. Now, because I'm making a smaller batch, I'm going to make 4 ounces total. I have reduced that base oil recipe by half. So I have 1/8 of a cup of beeswax, which is 2 tablespoons. And then I have coconut oil, castor oil, and sweet almond oil. And this is combined together. This is going to make 1/2 cup of melted oil total. So I'm going to start off by putting in my 2 tablespoons of beeswax into the measuring cup. Give me just a second here. Now the beeswax pellets do take the longest to melt, so once I get everything incorporated into the measuring cup, I'm going to have to stir this for the entire process. Stirring helps this melt a lot quicker. Next, I'm going to add the coconut oil. Now I'm adding the castor oil. I do like to add the castor oil to this recipe because castor oil is very deeply penetrating. It's also has a slow penetration rate. So you're not going to apply your vapor rub to your skin and then it just disappears. If you add a little castor oil to this, make sure you're using organic hexane-free castor oil because we are applying this to the skin. But add a little bit of castor oil to your mixture so that when you put this on your chest or your back or your feet, it doesn't just disappear. You want this to have a long-acting working time. So by adding this, you'll definitely get that. Make this worth the time that you put into making your vapor rub. Okay. And next I'm going to add sweet almond oil. Sweet almond oil is fairly inexpensive, so this is a great filler oil to apply to your vapor rub mixture. Okay, so now I'm going to stir this until these ingredients have fully melted. And then I'll bring you back for the addition of the essential oils. Okay, I'm back now. And I have all of my oil ingredients and my beeswax pellets have all melted. I've turned the temperature down to low so that the water in the saucepan stays warm and does not allow this to solidify until I'm finished. But before I can continue, adding the essential oils, I have to check the temperature of this oil. I want it to be under 100 degrees, preferably around 95 degrees, before I add those essential oils. And that is because I do not want my essential oils to evaporate. And the ones that don't evaporate, I don't want their medicinal properties to be destroyed from the heat. So I'm just going to stick this in here. And the temperature of this oil is around 140 degrees, so it's definitely too hot. So I'm going to pull this out of the, I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to get a washcloth that's just slightly damp. And I'm going to let this sit out here for a few minutes to cool down, and I will come back and check in with you once that's finished. Okay, I'm back, and now our oil mixture has cooled down to the proper temperature. We're under 100 degrees, and now it's time to add our essential oils. Now today I'm going to be using peppermint. Peppermint I'm using just for the camphor effects. This will just allow to open up the airways and allow for easier breathing. This is Eucalyptus globulus, and I'm using this because this is good for respiratory infections, bronchitis, and chronic cough. I'm also going to use Eucalyptus radiata, which is also great for respiratory infections, bronchitis, sinusitis, cold, flu, and asthma symptoms. And I'm also going to use thyme linalool. Thyme linalool is great for flus, colds, coughs, laryngitis, sore throat, and nasal and chest congestion. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a good mixture of these to my oil mixture. And this is the peppermint. I'm just going to do a little dropper full of that. I'm going to use about 10 drops of this thyme linalool. I'm going to use about 10 drops of the Eucalyptus radiata. Now I told you I was going to give you a list of the essential oils that can be used for children. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you're making this for children under 5, you can use Roman chamomile, ravensara, and lavender. If you're making this for children over 5, you can use thyme linalool, which is what I have here, ravensara, and Roman chamomile, and these are skin safe for children under 5. So I'm going to add about 10 drops to this here of the Eucalyptus globulus. Give this a nice stir, and then I'm going to give it the smell test. Okay, that's nice, but I think I can add just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and do 10 more of each. You can add any type of essential oils that you like. You just want to make sure that you're using the proper dilution ratio for skin contact, and you also want to make sure you're using a therapeutic, skin safe essential oil. And I like to buy mine from either Plant Therapy or Jade Bloom because they are well tested and they're affordable. So I'm going to stir this up once again. Now, because of the coconut oil in here and the beeswax, it is starting to solidify just a little bit. So I still have my warm water here. Just going to take it off the burner and bring it closer to me. I'm just going to heat this up just a tiny bit until it clears up again. So you will be able to tell that it's starting to thicken up or harden, or solidify, I should say, because your oil mixture will become cloudy. If it becomes cloudy, you need to add it to your double boiler just briefly until it clears up again, or until all of the solids have melted back into your oil. So I'm just going to stir this for a second more. And it looks like all the solids have melted down. I'm just scraping down the sides as I stir. Just going to slide this to the side. And now I have two 2-ounce containers that I'm going to put the vapor rub into. I stir this into one. And I'm going to put this back into the warm water. Try to scrape down everything off the sides that has solidified and get that to melt down a little bit. And I'm going to pour this into my other 2-ounce container. You don't want to leave any in your jar. We don't want to waste any of this good oil that we've made here. Now I'm just going to take a clean paper towel and go around the edges just so that I don't have any of the vapor rub mixture inside the threads. And I'm going to let these set out and cool for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll bring you back and show you what they look like. All right, our vapor rub has solidified and it is ready for use. It's not a perfect pour because this is, of course, like I said, for personal use here at home for the season. I think 4 ounces will be enough to get us through this cold and flu season here. So if you make this, let me know how this turns out for you. Just wanted you to see how this goes onto the skin. It smells fantastic. And because I added a little bit of that castor oil, it's going to lay on the skin for a while and penetrate into whatever area of the body you put it into very slowly. And that's what you want if you're looking for relief from upper respiratory cold and cough symptoms. So I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you guys before, but when you're working with beeswax and coconut oil, you do want to clean your containers out by wiping them out with a paper towel first before you put them in your sink to wash them, because these oils are solid. We don't want those going down our drain and ruining our pipes. So I like to wipe everything off nice and clean with a paper towel before I wash them, so that I'm not causing any damage to our pipes. Well guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today to make this homemade vapor rub. If you give this a try, please let me know in the comment section below how it turned out for you. And as always, I want to say thank you for stopping by my Carolina homestead today and spending a little time with me. If you enjoyed this video, or if you like videos like this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, click that notification bell for more videos coming soon. See you next time, and take care.